What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bad Gamer, Good Gamer podcast. I almost forgot the name for a second. We've got major stuff to talk about. One main thing to really just that is worth talking about in this episode, and it's the new Super Mario Brothers trailer that dropped in the shortest direct ever. I don't think we
The
talked
best
about this
direct.
right, but it was
It's
like
good that
the
it was short.
shortest. It was the shortest one ever.
Wahoo!
Yeah,
It was fun.
yeah. So yeah, Nintendo revealed the trailer on October 6th. It was a direct that they announced on Twitter like a few days ago or something like that. The trailer also was simultaneously broadcasted live at New York Comic Con. I didn't even realize
That was
that
pretty cool.
New
Yeah,
York Comic Con
they
was
they mentioned
happening.
it in the direct. So yeah,
Well,
that's how I
but like,
found out.
yeah. Me too. Exactly. Yeah. Overall, like, we have thoughts on the trailer, but overall, like, I think we're both hyped for it. It's safe to say, right?
I mean, I'm hyped by default because it's Mario. Like, it's a
Yeah.
Mario movie. Any gamer worth their salt knows Mario and will probably watch it. So
Yeah.
as a gamer, you have to.
Exactly.
But like, I was more hyped. I was more surprised by how good it was. You know, like you have gaming movies or gaming, gaming movies that are not too well adapted, as we know. Like this has been the trope for a while.
Well, hold on. Let's go a bit off topic now. What was the last?
Sonic.
What was the last? What? Well, no. Okay, so define how Sonic was bad. I didn't like Sonic because I thought it was.
I enjoyed it. I thought you were going to say when was the last good one. Sonic was.
Oh no! When was the last bad one? Because I thought about this a long time ago.
Assassin's
but I think
Creed.
Yeah, but
sure?
How long ago was that?
I think. Well, When was the last one? I can't remember. There was Assassin's Creed.
Years ago. So I think it's okay to.
Safe to say we're out of the woods. Like
we might be out of the woods a little bit, yeah, because there have been some good examples of like adaptations that were done well. I think Sonic was like a surprise hit.
I think Sonic was the only one that I think that did it well enough to be like, yeah, this is a game turned into a movie.
We need to put a list. We need to put a list of like all the movies that came out, like all the gaming movies that came out, and then like just kind of rate them. And
yeah,
we can definitely get back to that
together.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's move on. So, in this trailer, we saw a lot of things in terms of the characters that we saw. There's Bowser, Mario, Toad, Luigi, Koopas, Kamek, and the dry bones.
Don't forget about the penguins.
The penguins, the poor penguins who thought they could take down Bowser by throwing, not even like launching super high speed, just like throwing
snowballs. Man, it's hilarious. No, I love their energy.
Yeah. That part was really funny. But then, of course, as we all know, Bowser is not one to be taken down by snowballs. He did his fire breath. Was a fire breath thing in all the games?
Well, I would say all
fireballs, right? Like I know he did fireballs in the OG.
In the first one, the breath. No, it's always his thing. I think it's safe to say it's his thing.
So he destroyed the at least the gate of the kingdom, the Ice Kingdom, and then there's a shot of him like right next to a golden star, and he says like, I finally found it. Now who's going to stop me? So we already can get an idea what the story of the movie is going to be about. Like he has been looking for this star, he finds it, he's gone more powerful, kind of like Thanos with the Infinity Stones, if you think about it. And
but Mario's before Thanos. So
Mario's before Thanos.
Yeah. We'll see. Actually, that's debatable. Thanos, if you go from the comics, maybe the comics were earlier.
Oh, the comics were definitely earlier. Yeah.
So I'll take that back. I won't set that in stone. But like,
so Bowser is not the OG Thanos. Thanos is the OG Thanos. But then we see Mario teleport through the green pipe into this very like nice lush outskirts of the Mushroom Kingdom, and all these mushrooms are like glowing and whatnot, and we get to see Mario's like movie face for the very first time.
Actually, funny enough, like since we mentioned Sonic, it reminds me at the end of the first Sonic movie or the beginning of the second one, Jim Carrey or Robotnik, he got ejected into or he got transported into one of these mushroom worlds. So maybe that's where it like ties in.
My tie-in with Sonic, by the way, was with the score of the trailer. It reminded me of Sonic so much. It reminded me of the Sonic movie so much.
The Green Hills, was it Green Hills or?
I don't know. No, not of the Sonic games, but of the
You
Sonic
mean
movie.
Oh, right. Yeah, it
So
could
the
be.
score of the trailer, like the music that was in the trailer, like especially when you see Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom, like the way they kind of like played around with the Mario theme a little bit, and they made it more cinematic and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
It gave me Sonic vibes, Sonic movie vibes, not Sonic game vibes.
Got you. That was. We'll just like skip ahead because you mentioned the score. Brian Tyler is the lead working on the score of the film, alongside with Koji Kondo, who is the creator of the original, iconic, and also
we're gonna get taken down. You just hummed the Nintendo tune.
Oh no! Okay, well it's over. Game over for us.
This video's not going out.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to hear more of it because like the music is iconic and like I do want to see, like I especially enjoyed the score of Sonic movie.
Yeah, the movie was good. Yeah.
So I want to see how they do it for this one. So I'll be equally excited.
Yeah, I have high hopes for this as well from that aspect. Like I'm sure the music is gonna sound good. The visuals look amazing. Like
they're good. They are good. Yeah, it suits the style of Mario.
I mean, like Mario Odyssey turned into a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Safe
like
to say,
not
Odyssey
realistic,
really nice.
not photorealistic, but like still cartoonish or whatever. Like still CGI, still animated. It looked really, really good. Mario looked fine, but the internet had problems when the poster came out. And not even the poster, like there's a still from the trailer, like when the camera's panning around him and he's like looking at the mushrooms and whatnot.
Yeah,
you could see he's got like no ass basically, and that was
okay. So that's what we're gonna start with. Okay,
let's start with this because I found a good segue into it.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah. You seem to be more excited about this than I am. So
not really. There's nothing exciting. Like when I first saw the poster, like everybody else, I'm like, yeah, I'm hyped for the direct. It looks cool. Like like it's a huge.
The poster was really good. Yeah, that artwork. I'm sure they're gonna sell it as a poster or something. Yeah.
I hope they do. And like there was a lot of Easter eggs and people were taking it apart, and I'm happy about that. Yeah. But what everyone seemed to focus on was his behind, or his lack of junk in his trunk. And I'm not excited about it. I'm just amazed that people pointed that out as a thing, as an issue.
I'm disappointed that people pointed that out as a thing, as an issue. Like I would get it if people were upset that his mustache doesn't look the same. Because that's an iconic part of I was going to say Sonic. That's an iconic part of Mario.
And Sonic too. I'm sure he has.
Sonic's mustache. Yeah, exactly. But like, I think the kind of people who are like genuinely like concerned about the movie or about Mario or about the direction or about any of that sort of stuff, just because he doesn't have a big butt anymore, I think those people should find a hobby and just like quit the internet for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you keep forgetting how the internet is. If there's something,
I don't forget. But
they will find.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that these people exist. I'm just disappointed. I said at the beginning, I'm disappointed that this is still happening. And just one last thing in the trailer. They called it a teaser trailer. It's like a 2-minute long or a 1.5-minute long video. But we do see a glimpse of Luigi. He's running in the woods. He's running away from the dry bones, and he's he actually makes it to what looks like an abandoned castle. So this might be a reference to Luigi's mansion. And there's this theory online that I saw. It makes sense based on the information that we have now. But when Mario first comes into the Mushroom Kingdom, into the outskirts, into the Mushroom Forest, he did not recognize it. Like the first thing he says, if I'm not mistaken, in the trailer is like, "Where am I?" or "What is this?" Something like that. And he didn't seem to recognize like anything. So the theory is that Nintendo's going with a isekai trope, anime trope, which is a normal human being gets teleported or transferred or something to like a magical fantasy world because he's the chosen one, he's the savior, whatever. The Matrix, basically, and Mario's Neo. Yeah.
But like, I really never made that connection. Like when I watched the trailer, I'm like, okay, I wonder what it is. What's gonna happen?
Yeah. Well,
but
I mean,
like the fact that he says, "What is this place?" in the trailer,
I didn't catch that when I watched the trailer either. If it wasn't for this comment that I saw online that made me like just kind of look it up, I wouldn't have really thought so. But yeah, it does make sense to at least question why he did not recognize the Mushroom Kingdom. So this must be at the very least like an origin story for Mario.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking that Luigi's in it too. So maybe both of them, like this is the scenario that I'm just kind of like thinking of in my head. Maybe both of them on Earth somehow stumbled across like this big green magical pipe. They fell through it, or maybe they fell through it at different times. But what ended up happening is that they both came out into different parts of that world. Right. So Mario came out into the Mushroom Kingdom, and then Luigi like somewhere in the forest or whatnot, and he's like he's not he didn't land like in a safe place or something, so he has to now go look for Mario in this abandoned castle because he probably thinks that that's where he is. And then we have Luigi's Mansion, the game, and we have all the Super Mario games. Like they're both games in the same movie. It could possibly be that.
But yeah, no, story-wise it makes sense. Then it'll like propel Mario to like find Luigi and I don't know what, and that will kick off their adventure. But the fact that they start off as humans or like regular people, then like deform or like get transported, like I didn't even make that connection. That could be a possibility.
Oh, you know what? Imagine like you get like live action humans in the movie, like of Mario and Luigi, Chris Pratt and Charlie Day. They're like actual like plumbers, or something like that, and then they fall through the pipe and then they come out looking all cartoonish.
I mean, that's possible. Yeah, could be.
So yeah, that was the trailer. Overall, I think it's safe to say they were both hyped for it. I spoke with a friend and he's like, he was kind of like worried about going to watch a Mario movie by himself because it's like a movie for kids. So it's like, it's a good thing I have a little daughter that I could take to as my my excuse. And then I'm telling him like, no, you don't really need a daughter. The theater is going to be filled with adults that want to watch the Mario live action movie. You're good.
Yeah, of course.
I really hope it's coming out on IMAX, but they didn't say that. Like they didn't show that at the end of the trailer. They said like it was real 3D or something like that. So
that was
going to be a 3D movie at least. But on IMAX?
April 7th. Yeah. April 7th.
Coming out April 7th in the US, if I'm not mistaken, but it's coming out at different countries at different times. Yeah. So what are they?
France is March 29th. So France is going to get it first.
Yeah.
And in Japan, funnily enough, is getting it later at April 28th in Japan.
That's weird. That is, I don't know why, but I mean, you'd expect.
Maybe they want to turn it into a public holiday. So like, knowing Japan, like, so they wanted to pick a good day for them.
But that's cool because my birthday is on the 14th.
There you go.
I can make this as part of my, like, I can wait for the week.
Maybe. You're going to do a Mario themed birthday? Is that it?
No, I don't really have birthdays, but I can make it as part of like my plan of that day or something, whatever. Yeah. Like go watch the Mario movie with like friends or something, or like my cousins, and I don't know. But it's close to my birthday. That's all I care about.
Cool. Okay.
It means I'm special somehow.
So it means you're Mario's brother? Are you like?
I don't know. All I know is that I'm special.
No, you're Wario. That's who you are. You're gonna be the. You're their cousin. You're like, hey, it's me, Wario.
Damn, I don't know how I feel about that. Wario's kind of cool. As long as I'm not Waluigi. I never really liked Waluigi.
I don't think anyone did. No, Wario's cool. Don't get me wrong. Everyone has a bad rap with Wario. Wario is cool.
No, Wario's a good guy. People must understand Wario. Wario's a very good guy. He's thoughtful.
Yeah, he makes the money. He makes the coins. He's cool.
What else happened in the direct? The really super short direct.
The super short. Well, it started off with Shigeru Miyamoto, like the father of Super Mario. Like it's of course. So he introduced, or he opened up the direct, and then he spoke about. Then he introduced us to the Illumination Studios, or the CEO of Illumination Studios. I'm trying to find where my notes are.
Chris Meledandri, I think, is his name. Yeah. CEO and founder of Illumination.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. I was looking for my notes because they've been moved. So he spoke about how this movie was like 7 years in the making, apparently, between, I'm sure, like how Nintendo is so fickle. They probably went back and forth on on everything, I'm sure. And that he went, I think not many people go into this kind of details, but he's like, oh yeah, animation is going to be done this week, or by the time the trailer was out, it's like, yeah, animation's almost done, and then we're gonna start with lighting.
He said there are 7 days left, I think, into the animation. Once that is locked, they're gonna start doing lighting and effects after that, and then the score will also be
done as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that, like that detail.
I'm sure for you, like, it makes sense. Like, you'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or that's a good production as an animator yourself. So, like, you
as someone who trained in animation, I don't want to label myself as an animator, but yeah,
but somebody who trained more than anyone else. More than anyone else.
More than anyone who hasn't trained in animation, yes.
Like me.
Well, then you, yeah. But I don't want to label myself as an animator because it's not my field of work. It's not something I've done like professionally or whatever. I just did the training and that's it. But anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, so I just found that as an interesting, like, extra bit of detail. And then we already spoke about Brian Tyler, and like, if you don't know, I didn't know who he was, but like, he's worked on movies such as Bug, Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, Iron Man 3, and Avengers, Age of Ultron. You mentioned Avengers, and here you go.
Yeah, so there you go,
yeah. So he's someone with background, so like, we're expecting
Nintendo wouldn't get anybody who can't do it right. Like, it's just, it's not the Nintendo way.
Yeah. But the cool thing is that we actually got to see Chris Pratt and Jack Black.
Yeah.
They pretty much phoned in their introductions from the looks of it, because they were like each at home and like, filming from their phones.
I think it was definitely pre-recorded. Like I don't think they were live with.
What I mean is, like, they did it by themselves with their phones.
Oh,
at home,
yeah. It was it was at home.
Sent it in.
They talked about how excited they were, and Chris said it was like a dream of his to play Mario, and I thought like that stuff stopped making any sense to me or like having any impact on me. Whenever an actor says this is like my dream role, this is my whatever, this is like, I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Like, I don't really like, yeah.
Maybe in Chris Pratt's,
but not Jack
point of view.
Jack Black is a lot more genuine. Jack Black,
yeah, he's like, I got ripped for this role, like building Koopa muscles. Like, I'm
he's
not
just
as half
as
cool as he is, but he's awesome.
He's Jack Black is amazing.
And everyone agreed, like, his voice or like the way he portrayed Bowser.
We never talked about the voice. Actually, we
will now.
Yeah. So the only real issue that people have, because I'm not going to consider the assless Mario as an issue, but the only real issue, based on what I've seen online, I'm assuming based on what you've seen online as well, is his voice. And this was something that was a concern of fans ever since Nintendo announced back in 2021 that there's a Super Mario Brothers movie out, and then it's going to be starring Chris Pratt. Everybody had a big question mark. It was like, Chris Pratt, Mario? Like, what do you mean? He released a video then saying that he's like working super hard on it and like it's going to be good. In June, if I'm not mistaken, he also said something along the lines of, it's been updated and like people are going to be proud, and he doesn't like, it's not going to offend Italian Americans, because I think some people assume that he's going to do a stereotypical Italian American sort of accent.
The accent was light. Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say Italian like necessarily, but like it was a New Yorker type of
That's
thing.
What it sounded like to me. Some people said Brooklyn.
But slightly. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know the specifics of New York, like the but it was also like, it wasn't even like heavy. It was a very light, like, the first time I heard it, I'm pretty sure I didn't pick up on any accent, but I just picked up that this was Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I think we need to hear more of him talking.
We definitely do, because it was just one line.
Say final judgment. Yeah, it's very
exactly.
hard.
So I'm not judging now, but a lot of people are online. Like, they're like, oh, Chris Pratt sounds like he's playing Chris Pratt, like from New York. Jack Black sounded amazing. Jack Black did not sound like Jack Black.
Yeah, no, he played the role well. It was really cool.
Yeah. I wonder if I didn't know that it was Chris Pratt who was voicing Mario, would I pick up on that? Because I think a lot of people,
probably not,
because they know it's Chris Pratt, and there's already that notion of like, he sounds like nothing like Mario. As soon as he started talking in the trailer, people just kind of like reverted to that thought. Oh, it's Chris Pratt. It's obvious, whatever. And like the accent doesn't work, or I don't know.
We need more. I'm reserving judgment, but like, it did sound like there was a slight accent, whatever that accent is, American accent. Like, it is there. It's not Italian. It's like, wahoo! It's me, Mario. Like, we're not getting that.
Oh no, we're not
like
getting that
style.
voice. Yeah, yeah. So the voice is nothing like Mario.
What's his name? Yeah.
The voice is I forgot his name, but he's in the movie as well. The original voice of Mario is in the movie.
Let me get his Chris Martinet. I know it was
Martinet, maybe.
Martinet, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Charles Martinet. My God, I said
Charles,
Chris.
not Chris.
Charles Martinet.
Charles, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, but Charles did go on record saying that he doesn't feel bad at all that Chris is playing the role. He said that he just wants to keep doing the voice of Mario in games, and he plans on doing it like forever or like for the upcoming years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the trailer dropped in different languages. So it dropped in Latin American Spanish, Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, Italian, French, and German. I personally find the Italian Mario to sound the closest to the game Mario.
Of course, because he's Italian.
I don't. I think that's a false connection to make, because when I say he sounds like him, because he's speaking in Italian. I don't know. Course, but I'm talking about like the voice, like that soft whatever voice. That could happen like from any country could have that. I think the French one had a similar one, I think, but the Italian one just so happened to be the closest to what Mario sounds like in the games.
Right. Yeah.
How good or bad any of the voice actors like actually are, because I'm sure you can only judge if you know the language, but just phonetically, like just the sounds of it, all the Bowsers are great. The Italian and I think the French one were also like Mario's were also like really good. The others were fine, right? Like it's a choice that they had to make, and
creative choice. Yeah, that makes sense. But so if you want the authentic Super Mario movie, watch it in Italian with English subtitles. Done.
Yeah,
problem solved.
Yeah. That's it for Mario coming out in the US. I'm assuming in the UAE would follow the American release. So
probably, yeah. UAE, the rest of the world.
April 7th. Yeah, exactly. But the cool thing about it coming out the terrible thing about it coming out in France earlier, like a week or so earlier.
Online spoilers.
And stuff. Yeah, so make sure you block the internet from March 29th or even March 28th, because there could be like a midnight preview thing or whatever. Yeah.
True.
March 28th until April 7th. Just don't go on the internet. Except for maybe like listening or watching our podcast. We can whitelist. Yeah,
we won't spoil anything for you guys. You can rest assured.
100%. Yeah. So that's it. Do you want to quickly go over the Overwatch 2 stuff?
I mean, that's up to you. I wanted your personal take about Overwatch 2, which was in the news, by the way.
It was in the news a lot. So really quickly, because we don't really have enough time. Really quickly, Blizzard launched Overwatch 2 on the 4th. And from day one, it was like instant shit show.
People Did you try to get in?
No, I didn't even. I'll tell you why I didn't try to get in.
Okay.
Because I kind of a little bit outgrew Overwatch, just a little bit. I'd still go back to it, but as soon as the game dropped, I saw people on Twitter like, "Oh, I'm waiting in line in front of like 20,000 people or something." Whatever.
Well, that's one of the problems. But like, as a fan, you were like, you can't even play the first one, right?
Yeah. So. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm pissed off that because. Okay, so this is not going to be news. Cool. It's going to be rent. It's going to be rent. Overwatch 2 is not Overwatch 2. It's an update of Overwatch. Because they completely took down the Overwatch 1 servers, right? And they promised so many things with Overwatch 2. The first thing, I think the very first differentiating factor between Overwatch 2 and 1 when they announced it a couple of years ago is that they're going to introduce PvE.
That's right.
That mode has been delayed. So the game launched with basically the exact same, not exact, like now teams instead of 6, they're 5. Yeah. So, but it's and like the maps are a bit different. There's an extra character. There are no more loot boxes. It's a game pass. It's
a battle pass.
System. But basically that's it.
But that's what I wanted to know, because like the game intimately. Like you've played it. You have hours.
I played it a lot. Yeah.
So is it worth it, or it's just
I haven't. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's worth it if you still want to play Overwatch, because Overwatch 1 you can't anymore, right? But the unfortunate thing is that people tried to log in on when it launched, they couldn't. It was they said it was a DDoS attack, like a massive DDoS attack that hit them.
Yeah.
There's also I didn't so just really quickly. I didn't get a chance to read your notes because I woke up and then we started doing this little.
That's
So
fine.
I don't really.
I'll tell you.
I'm just talking based on what I've seen in the news.
Yeah, that's what I want. I kind of want your
Yeah.
reaction because
So
you know.
because it's no longer loot boxes, it's no longer gambling. Apparently, with the battle pass, like you'll have to grind. I saw something that you have to grind for like days and days and days and days to get like some items. It's the same thing that we heard about. It's the
Halo.
Diablo Immortal.
Oh, Diablo. Oh, yeah. Diablo Immortal. Yeah.
But in the case of Overwatch 2, it's all cosmetics. As far as I know, it's all cosmetics. I don't know if there's anything
cosmetics
else.
And heroes. New heroes are locked behind the battle pass.
Yeah. Yes. So
that's
the new hero
so
the new hero in Overwatch 2, you either pay for, if I'm not mistaken, or you have to like build up enough points or experience or whatever. And doing that, I think you need to, and correct me if I'm wrong if you have this in the notes, you need to like play for like a month or two to unlock her or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid.
It's too much of a grind. Like that's the basic premise of it. And I kind of get that. But what I don't get is like because like it launched pretty much like how Halo launched. The online only came out free to play, and then the PvE or like the campaign was later.
The campaign multiplayer, then Forge mode, and like
So I just don't understand why everyone like why you'd be generally pissed off in that regards.
Well, no, I mean just because somebody else did it
doesn't justify it. Yeah,
true. Exactly. Yeah. Now the problem is with somebody, and that's always that's a problem with anything. Anytime you are okay with a company doing something wrong, and anytime you give them like a pass, and it becomes like a known thing, a public thing that this company, it's fine, it's okay, we'll give them this one. It's one more chance for other companies to do the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So now the status quo like now is that it's kind of expected for games to launch without like the full
package,
package.
Unfortunately, this is a standard.
It was fine like for years to release games incomplete and then release the completed stuff as DLCs in the future. No, like DLC, exactly. But now this is completely different. This isn't like, the mode is not out yet because it's a DLC, even though we all know they like they worked on it for it to come out. Like it can launch at the same time, but they want to like milk money out of people. No, this isn't even the case. They're like, oh no, this is still going to be like whatever, like part of the original game, but it's not ready yet. We'll push it out later. That's becoming a thing, or that's going to become a thing. If people just keep being like, the only thing people can do is just not pay money. Right, but that's not going to happen. People are going to spend money. People are going to play the game. People don't really care.
It's vote with your wallets, but people don't end up doing that, unfortunately. And game designers know that. But at the same time, like, I feel like Blizzard in general are just hurting their fans more than like giving them what they want. Like, for the longest time now.
And what's that thing with the phone verification thing?
This is what I wanted to bring up right now. Is like this: they designed this new defense matrix to combat cheaters, which is just basically an SMS2 form authenticator. That's it. That they implemented for all users initially. And what they did was people with prepaid phones couldn't log in. And you needed to apparently have a full phone plan to log in. And some people, even though they had the phone active, like it was showing like they didn't get the authenticator code or the one-time code to activate it. It was a shit show pretty much. So they dialed it back.
It's a stupid idea. I heard that they did, but it's a stupid idea to be. They have their own 2FA app.
They do. I've used it, or I signed up to it the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So making it mandatory to give them your phone number is sketchy. Like, why should any...
would you give them?
No. Well, I mean, I might not...
As a fan.
Yeah. I wouldn't call myself a fan. Well, okay, you could say a fan, maybe. Not of Blizzard, but like Overwatch is really the only... StarCraft 20 years ago, Overwatch now, or like... But I've stopped playing Overwatch for a couple of years. But no, I probably would. But it's definitely a red flag that it's a mandatory, or that it was a mandatory thing. They've taken that down, so it's no longer mandatory. So so you know what that says? That the phone number really wasn't for security purposes.
I mean, true, but like the way they made it non-mandatory is for existing players who already have an Overwatch account don't need to link their phone.
Oh, is that how they did it?
Yeah. So if you've had an account before, I can't remember the date, April this year, I think. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. You can sign in, no issues, no need for the SMS. However, if you create a new account, you're still bound to the whole phone thing. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know if they'll take it down later or they have, but from the time of we're recording this, that's how they've dialed it down as of now.
But that is very, very stupid. Honestly, that is genuinely stupid.
It is. And like, I'm just surprised how bad this game is at launch. Like, it's as if they didn't learn anything from the first Overwatch. Like, if this was their first Overwatch game, sure. But it's not. It's like a game from before. And there's even a new exploit. And I wouldn't say exploit. A new a bug that apparently, like, the chat, like, if you're typing in chat, it registers your keystrokes in the menu. And people have accidentally bought skins by just typing to the chat. And so the fix right now is just don't use chat. So I don't know how the chat worked in the first game, but like, it's just weird.
That's so stupid. I just want to modify or maybe like just change something that you said. Because I don't know what the first Overwatch launch was like. Because I got into Overwatch after it launched, like months or maybe a year after it launched. Yeah. But they had a beta for Overwatch 2. They should have learned from that at least. Because I'm sure those bugs were there, right? Or I'm sure like issues were there. Yeah.
But like, okay, maybe it is a stretch to compare the first to the second. But again, like it's like they had an existing service that they've used. They ran live servers. They've had, I'm sure, extreme situations of like high user counts or whatever. So I'm sure like you'd expect them to have learned from the first time. That's what I meant when I said
I think there are certain things that might be unavoidable. Like every single time you launch it, like you launch a new game, you're going to run into the same kind of issues. I don't know, like how the infrastructure thing would work.
Yeah, but the fact that it replaced the reason I say this is it replaced it fully. It's not like a new server. Yeah. I know for a fact it's not brand new servers. Like the fact that it replaced an existing server, like, or I would imagine I should say, not a fact.
Not a fact.
That, yeah, like that they use the same servers as Overwatch 1 to run Overwatch 2 players means that it's an existing account or existing server.
We don't know how this whole thing works, so let's not step too much into it.
I don't want to step, but like that's what I mean. Like it's there. Like they're replacing it. They're not adding to it.
I have no comment on the matter because again, I don't know like the validity of what you're saying. But what I will say is that
it's my speculation.
The last time I know, but like I have nothing to add because I don't know anything about that whole like how this whole thing works. But what I will say is that one of the reasons why I stopped playing Overwatch was the wait times.
Oh, that was also a thing then?
Yeah, because in the past when I first started playing it, I log in, I get into a match, no problem. Like maybe maximum 5 minutes. But then they introduced this character or this like role selecting thing where you have to choose to be either a tank or whatever before you select the characters, and then they match you up with other people based on the roles that you've picked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I usually play the attack roles. I forgot what they were called, and those are usually the more common ones. So it's always hard to find that slot. So I would go with the tank, which is my second most played character. But I would still have to wait. I think the last time I tried to play it, I waited for like 20-30 minutes to get into a game.
Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
That was a thing
from the first one too.
Towards the end, right? So they tried to find remedies for these kind of issues. I forgot what it was called. The role selecting thing, or the type, the role type, or the character type selector thing was a way for them to try to fix the issue because not everyone is trying to jump in and play the same kind of character or the same whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. So the fact that the game launched and it has the same
super
issues.
Long,
regardless of what the reasons might be, whether it's like technical stuff or whether they're just idiots or whatever. But like that's not a good sign for me. And I'm not gonna try.
Could be the case.
And they could all be valid, yeah. And I'm not gonna try and play Overwatch until at least that issue is fixed. I can deal with different like mechanics or different whatever. They made changes to the characters and certain mechanics of the attacks and weapons, all that sort of stuff. But I can deal with that, but I don't want to because it's already it takes me days or weeks or months to just start playing a game, right? So if I decide now I want to play Overwatch, I want to play Overwatch. If like that decision might not be made for months, right? So until they fix all this sort of stuff, I'm not even gonna try and get the game. Hopefully they do. Not for me, but like for everybody else who still wants to play Overwatch.
No, I feel like it's a common thing. Like the next common thing that unfortunately gamers are used to, and we've talked about it before in the past, is that never buy a game or never play a game day one. They will fix it, whatever, live service, online, MMO, whatever. It's usually like wait a few months, see if it's fixed, and then get into it. Like we have touched on this before, like, and I feel like it's a common thing.
Yeah, it's a common thing. It's like, not just with games, but services and products and whatnot. But yeah, that's about it. This was supposed to be a quick rant thing.
It was
about
very
Overwatch
quick. I think we could have gone longer, but like it's
well, quick. We definitely could have. But let's just end it on this note. Let's just end it here. A lot of announcements, a lot of things came out this week. So guys, go check out the news. We've got ARC GPUs, the 4090s, CD Projekt Red announcements, a new Need for Speed. There's just a lot of stuff. But one more thing. I promise you the last.
Oh, there's one more thing. Oh, look at you!
Did you see the new Xbox mini fridge?
No. What? No, of course not.
They announced a new mini me Xbox Series X mini fridge.
Dude,
that is $80 or $70. This is for me, and they said they're gonna like release it globally. So maybe
they finally listened to you, Tim. This is news.
Maybe on my
Phil
birthday.
Spencer heard your calls and
maybe on my birthday I'll watch the Super Mario movie at home somehow, like on my screen
with the Xbox mini fridge.
With the Xbox mini fridge filled with like my Coke Zeros.
Dude, I want to see it now. I didn't know this was a thing too.
It's in the doc, so you can find the link in the backlog. You'll find it there.
I'll check it out.
Anyways, I'm gonna sign us off. This is the real end of the episode. Thanks for watching the episode. Drop a like or comment and subscribe for more content like this, or go to badgood.gg to find our audio podcast. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at badgoodpod, so give us a follow there, and we'll catch you in the next one, which might be live.
Oh, might be, yes. Take care.